No,
it's just gone 4 p.m. Miniseri Laka Shobe Drive. We are doing this again. Nalika Sikura Namuta. The one and only Dumisani Pangane is in the building. Guys, I'm not trying to twang, yeah? His surname is literally Pangane. Like, it's not me. You know, I'm not trying to twang and sound fancy or whatever. It's his surname, guys. Maybe he's going to explain why his surname sounds so... so, I don't know. Your surname sounds wrong, my guy. It sounds wrong for a black person because now people are asking me, since when do you twang? I'm like, I'm not even twanging. It's his surname. It's his surname. You're getting me into trouble. Are you good, Dumzani?
I'm good, thanks, and how are you?
I'm well. Ew, it's
Good
so hot. Good to see you too. It's so hot today. And one thing, it's about to get hotter because I know the conversation we're having today is only going to make things worse. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right. The stage is yours.
Okay, hi everyone. Hope you guys are good. This is Dumisani Pangani. I know Lonene is twanging my surname. Not really. It's me that's twanging my surname because I'm the one who decided to speak like this from a very young age. So I've adopted the British accent in a way. But yeah, please forgive me for twanging it. But yeah, I mean, there's also Pangani in Maputo, Mozambique, and there's a Pangani underpass in like Kenya. So.
Okay.
They must not blame me. It's just the way it's said, you know. But yeah, today, guys, I just want to talk about something that I was thinking about for a very long time, especially with me growing up as a kid. I've always been hard on myself, you know. And sometimes I've been hard to myself to a point where I was not really flourishing in the things that I do because I was just too much, you know. And I want to talk about giving yourself some grace. You know, there's many meanings for grace, and you know, the Bible talks about mercy and like in a way, sort of like forgiveness. But grace means something that is, what's the word? You have to find it internally. If you give yourself grace, you allow yourself freedom to make mistakes and grow in the end, because everything is about growth. And what I've understood is that some of us, we don't really give ourselves that much grace. When things don't work out, we just quit. And because sometimes, you know, they say your mind is a prison, we get imprisoned by our thoughts and we feel as if we failed, especially when we see other people excelling in life. We see our peers, they are getting jobs or they're contractors, they're doing some sort of business for themselves and they're flourishing. And we're asking ourselves, when is our turn? But little are we realizing that they're in their chapter 20 and we are in our chapter 1. So we can't compare the two because it will never be the same. So you should give yourself some grace to the point that, okay, one day I know that I'm going to come out on the other side successful. It's just going to take time. I don't know if it's going to take me 10 years or 20 years or even 1 year. But the fact that you are just, as they say in this language or in today's terms, locking in. You know the concept of locking in? Is when you're just focused on that specific path you're going through or you're going with. So we should be able to just allow ourselves to make the errors and learn from those errors and grow from whatever situation we've failed from, because eventually the only definition of failure is giving up. If you have done wrong somewhere or made an error but not giving up, you haven't failed. Some people say you fail forward by basically making mistakes so many times that eventually you'll get it. There's examples of people, Thomas Edison, where they've made 10,000 or 1,000 light bulbs, and yeah, there was one after like 10,000 or something, 10,000 experiments that they eventually got the light bulb. So yeah, people, especially us as a youth, we just have to have some mercy on ourselves. Because if we don't, we'll end up doing things that are not good. As you can see, there's a drug epidemic, there's alcohol abuse, there's GBV. It's because stress. They don't know what to do, they don't know how to let it out. They're just suppressing it to the point where they're just doing destructive things. You know?
I I hear you, Dumzani, but I believe there's a thin line, right? A very thin line between giving yourself grace and taking it easy, and as well as what did I want to say? My mind is a bit all over the place, but sometimes people are like, okay, I am trying to do this thing, I'm going to go on in, and do this thing, only to find out like, okay, it's not working out, right? And then they decide to give up. And then I also believe there are people who are just like, if something does not work out, and then I'm just gonna be easy on myself and do nothing, you see? So I believe there's a thin line between being not too hard on yourself as a young person, taking things easy. Maybe it's business, it does not work out, you're not too hard on yourself, you're not like, why is it not working out? Why? When is my turn coming? And you're just questioning life,
Yeah.
And then there is also this part where you just like, I'm just giving up. I don't want to stress too much about, like I'm just letting go. If it's going to parties every weekend, drinking, engaging in drugs, and
Yeah.
how do we tell the difference between the two? Because, okay, somebody's listening and they're like, okay, I mustn't be too hard on myself. I must give myself grace. I must be, easy on myself. Then let me just relax and do nothing. And then another person is listening and they're like, okay, I am going all in.
Yeah.
So I believe there's two kinds of people right now. There's a person who's like, okay, I'm relaxing. I'm just gonna enjoy my youth, wild, young, and free. I won't stress about anything. I'm just gonna continue staying with my parents, asking for money from my parents, and then there's this person who is just trying too hard. Can we find common ground between these two people, and how can we find the balance?
Okay. Yes, definitely true. I mean, there is a thin line between being lazy and pushing yourself too much. It's good to push yourself to a point where you feel uncomfortable, but not feel like your mental health or your physical health is deteriorating. When it gets to a point where you are suffering mentally, spiritually, and physically, that means you're going too hard. But for someone who's saying that, okay, I must give myself grace and just relax and I'll see it another day, no, that's not what I mean. Giving yourself grace means that you are doing whatever you can. You're giving it your 100%. And if it doesn't work out, you just don't sit and say, okay, I'm doing nothing because it's not working. You find other things to do. You know how it is, like, especially when you shower, right? You come up with the best ideas sometimes because you are thinking, but you're in the shower. So you're not doing the physical work. You're in the shower, but all of a sudden you know how to solve whatever you've been struggling with. So in a way, you have to do something. Just have to continuously do something that you know or think, well, okay, I can take a reroute, but I know I'll still be on the path that I was meant to be in the first place. It doesn't mean laziness. You just have to do something, and whatever it is, I don't know, because it's specific to each and every individual. It's not going to be the same. So me saying that, give yourself grace, is not to say, okay, be lazy and do nothing because things are not working out. You just have to keep doing what you know is best for you. Sometimes you have to do the most uncomfortable of things, but if it gets to a point where what the devil or good at your mental health, it's going to decline, or your spiritual, physical health is going to decline, that's when you're doing a bit too much and you probably should stop.
There is a 29-year-old who's listening right now, right? And this is social circle. We talk about societal challenges. Society has sort of put a, I don't know what to call it, but a sort of deadline to say, you need to get your ish together by 30, you know?
Yeah.
And there's a 29-year-old who's tuned in right now. And they like, I hear you say I must take it easy, but 30 is just around the corner. How do I take it easy when 30 is literally just knocking? And I need to get it together by 30, by age 30. Do we listen to what the societal standards say? Or how do we then take it easy on ourselves when 30 is just around the corner?
Okay, it's a very good question, actually. So I'm 27 years old. Yeah? I still live with my parents. I get paid by my parents. And sometimes I even ask myself why I should have been out a long time ago. Because I see my friends, some of them are married, some of them are running successful businesses, they have good jobs.
At 27?
Yeah.
Yeah, actually.
You know?
Yeah.
So people are doing the most. But for me, I'm like, okay, what is wrong with me? But again, those who are believers will know that God has a divine purpose for you. There's a specific way He has meant things to play out. If you keep on following social media saying that, hey, you must be married by 30 and all that, you're going to frustrate yourself. You have to find out within you what is my plans and how are my plans aligned with God? Because if you have a divine power, which mine, I believe is God, it's Jesus Christ, the Holy Spirit, you have to be able to be aligned with Him and then allow Him to work with you so you can get to your destination. But it does not mean you should sit down and do nothing and it will happen to you. So having those deadlines is good, but it's not the end of the world if you don't reach them. The fact that you tried, something positive may come out of it. I mean, I've never seen anybody who hasn't tried get stuck in the same place they were before. So if you try, like this channel, it's impossible to stay in the same place if you have done something. It's literally impossible. You have to do something regardless of what it is. You can work somewhere. I mean, I know a friend, she's studying and she was like, yeah, I can't find a job and all that. Well, she's studying PGCE and she was like, I applied in stores just to keep myself busy. You can see that she has a dream. I don't know that dream as much as she does, but she's like, I'm going to do something in the meantime so that if one day that opportunity comes, I'll grab it. So for someone who is 29, hey, and back Jalaburi, yeah, by 30 you must be married, you must have a car, you must all that. I'm like, I got 2 months or 2 months until 2026. Maybe it's 2026, like 30 next year. Don't be too push yourself, let me say. Like, don't be too hard to yourself that if I don't have all these things, my life is ruined. What if God wanted to give you all the stuff at 32 and when you gave up at 29? You said, nothing's working for me. So the 29-year-old still got energy. You can make a lot of money. And yeah, society, just ignore, just do what you know is good for you. And if you believe in God, ask Him to guide you.
I believe when you came up with the topic for today, which is giving yourself grace, you might have researched or come up with steps in which one can follow to be able to survive. We are going through a lot. We're a generation that's going through the most. When we come back, I want us to take them through easy steps, what to do. When you wake up in the morning, you don't have a business, you're not studying, you're not working. What are these steps that one, that could be helpful for someone out there who's listening and they're like, okay, I hear you, I need to take it easy, but at the same time, I need to go out there and do something at least. Where do I start? Moon coming through, Megiseri, from Daniel Caesar, and I'm coming back now, Nadumisani. Social circle is where you at, like us show the drive. Hey, we are talking about something very personal. Are you intentionally bringing out personal, thought-provoking topics so that we just sit and think long and hard about it to say, but where am I at? How old am I? How many months to go? Some were like, okay, I was not aware that 30 is a sort of a deadline in society. Some say 35 because that's when you just out of being called a young person in South Africa or youth. Some say life begins at 40, some say by 50. So are these societal due dates really valid, or it depends on where you come from? maybe in your family, they're like, okay, by 50, you must have this.
Yeah.
In some families, they're like, by 21, you must be driving a car, just like your brother. By 21, you must be married. By 25, is it general, or do you believe it differs with different people and different families before we get to how to actually deal with it step by step?
So it differs with people.
Mm-hmm.
It's my mic working?
Yes.
It differs with people, and what I can say is that these deadlines or these standards, they're meant to push people. Because if you were to think about it carefully, imagine if the world decided to stick with just FM. No podcasting, no all of that. That means there's no innovation, there's no growth. So it'll differ to each individual, but the standards are just there to push you. Not necessarily say that if you don't reach 30, your time in the world is gone. So it depends on how people take it. There's some people who take it that serious, and perhaps those people know that I can take this thing. I've got the energy, I've got the thick skin. I don't care what people say, I'm going to reach my goal. And then there's some people who are not as good as the thick-skinned people, or the one who are energetic and driven. That's why we have entrepreneurs and then we have job seekers. Because the entrepreneurs, they're purposely driven to something. They want to innovate. They want to make things better. And then the job seekers, they're just comfortable. I get my salary, my paycheck, I feed my kids and do whatever. I'm fine. So if there weren't these standards, there wouldn't be people who are pushed to progress. It's not necessarily wrong to be pushed. It's not necessarily wrong to have standards. You just need to be pushed sometimes. But there's a limit of overdoing it or underdoing it.
Underdoing it.
Yeah.
I actually fall under those who are underdoing it, because I wake up every day and I'm just like, I've got a job, it's fine. I know I'm supposed to be doing even more. I know I'm supposed to be pushing myself even harder, but there's a level of relaxation that's busy going on, and this conversation is, to me, a wake-up call to say, as much as in societal standards, I look fine, I guess. I'm in the working class and I just look fine, but I could improve. There's always room to improve and do better and even greater things. Relaxing is not an option. All right, step by step. When I wake up in the morning, right, I am unemployed. I don't have a business. Maybe I do have business ideas here and there, or maybe my CV is good. I just haven't submitted it, to places, emailed companies and stuff. Where do I start?
Okay, so I can say, number one, we all need something that we don't think about, but is very important, and that is purpose.
Okay.
Who am I, and where am I going? Some people, the purpose is to help others. So those people can find ways to have organizations where they feed, like feeding schemes, they donate clothes, they help people to read, elderly classes or young classes. There's so much flexibility, but the first step is always purpose. You need to find who are you and where do you want to be. Sometimes it's not wrong to say, I want to be worth this much. It's literally not wrong. But you just have to do it.
Start somewhere.
To start. There are some videos, I remember watching this other video on Instagram, but it was a show. However, those guys were saying that sometime this year I'll be a millionaire. Sometime this year I'm going to be a millionaire. And sometime next year, I'll be a millionaire. And what happened, they eventually made $1 million. How did they make $1 million? Because they were working. So they had a purpose. They knew who they are, who they were, and knew where they're going. So that's the first step. If you're at home, just wake up and say, okay, this is who I want to be. I want to be an entrepreneur. Everybody wants to be an entrepreneur, right? Okay, I want to be an entrepreneur. What do I do if I'm gonna be an entrepreneur. First of all, entrepreneurs read a lot.
Okay.
They take time to read, they understand, they have to understand certain things about how to run a business, how to communicate with people, social behavior, their own self, like internal behavior. They have to understand who they are. And then you can get yourself some books, you can start reading, and because you're not working, you're unemployed, go out, meet some people, get some inspiration for people, but don't let the inspiration expire, because it does expire.
It does.
You know? So talk to some people, find out, okay, this is a person, I like his life. Let me find out what he's doing for a living. Can he teach me something? Can I work for free for him? And again, working for free, you're unemployed. It's very difficult, yeah? Because you need to survive yourself. But basically, sometimes volunteering is not necessarily a bad thing. You just have to give your time. What do you gain? Experience, not money. But that's what people can't take away from you, the experience. So reading books, going out, and talking to people, networking, basically. And another thing I can say for me is exercising.
Okay.
Like physical
I don't
exercise.
like that one.
Physical exercise, yes, sometimes most of the time it will take up like an hour. I exercise for like an hour, not every day, some days when I feel, my body is telling me that, okay, this is the right time, because sometimes I hurt myself because I'm doing too much.
Do you know why I don't like exercising personally? Like after an hour 30 or 2 hours of exercising, I don't know what this feeling is called in science or in gymnastics or whatever, but I just feel like $1 million outside afterwards, right? And it only lasts for a couple of hours and then I'm back to my down. I don't know if it's a drug, I don't know if it's a brain thing, it's a mind thing, or it's called what?
Dopamine.
Dopa?
The happiness hormone.
Yes. I don't like that part. Like, okay, yeah, that's why I don't like exercising personally.
But it's good. I mean, blood flow to the body, to the brain, the circulation.
And then it lasts for a couple of hours and then I'm back to be myself.
But consistency. I mean, if you think about it, a lot of people are saying exercise is not a good thing or not necessarily a good thing, but exercising is tiring. It's the food that's tiring. We're out there eating Boma, Wacky Wednesday, and steers and KFC.
You are coming for me. I can see you coming for me with the Wacky Wednesday. Okay.
I mean, come on. It's the food that's killing a lot of progress. I mean, look at it. It's like this. You know, they say it takes 20 years to build a company and 5 minutes to break it. The food is like that. You can exercise for an hour and then eat your KFC. 5 minutes is done and you have gained all the calories that you've lost in the gym, you know? So you should put it that way. So with the exercising, it's just for your blood flow from the body to the brain. And another thing is keep on studying. Whatever you're studying, study and apply it. You see my dad now. I'll make an example of my dad.
Okay.
He's not like me. That guy, that man, when he says he wants to do something, he'll make you stop whatever you're doing. So you can do it also. He does not procrastinate.
Okay.
So he learns something and he takes it immediately. He implements it immediately. And then I see, okay, why is he always like this? But I realize that when these entrepreneurs, when they do something, they quickly implement it. They don't spend time and wait for the perfect moment. They implement. And so for you as the unemployed person at home, whenever you're studying or doing something, find some reason or some way to implement whatever you studied. That's when it sticks longer. Or that's when you know either it's the wrong thing or the right thing. So again, need purpose. That's step one. We've explained the subtopics about exercising, reading, networking, and And then step two, basically it'll fall like start something. So do something. In a way of doing, sometimes you'll take a detour. You know how they fix roads and you have to take a detour? If you are wanting to be a businessman, obviously funding is a problem. You're not going to get that 100K right now to start that business. But what you can do is you can have grace on yourself and go for something that might take time to give you money, but at least it's giving you money. You go work there, maybe it's a restaurant or a shop or some construction work. Maybe you find something they give you like a job to do. And then save whatever money that you can save. Make sure that you have the emotional discipline to say, I'm not going to chow my money and all of that.
And I've seen people like that. I've seen people who are so disciplined and so determined to say, if I want to save money for a certain thing, I do it.
Yeah.
But it's like 1% of the people. But I have seen such people.
It's definitely possible. So save aside some money, and then sooner or later, you can even ask the bank for funding. You can ask some people who you trust, who you know you can pay them back, basically having credibility. And then when it's time to go back to the main route, you can go back to the main route and start that business. But basically, you're supposed to do something, regardless of what it is. You have to branch, but as long as you can make those funds and you can get those funds to fund your dream, you can't just wait there as an unemployed person and say, it's going to come in 5 years' time. What are you doing? So the purpose and doing something, and then the end goal is step 3. It's not really a step, but let's just say it's a step.
Okay.
The end goal is basically saying, okay, I want to achieve this and this and this. But there must be a margin for error. That margin for error is just a space saying, okay, if it doesn't work out. But it should not be an excuse for you to say, then it's not going to work.
Which I believe is the main talk that we're having today, to say, don't be too hard on yourself. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. You wake up tomorrow and try again.
Some people, it can work out. I mean, let me think of Warren Buffett.
Okay.
So Warren Buffett, for example, nobody knows, not a lot of people know that he used to work at McDonald's. Yeah, as a young person. He started investing at a very young age, I think 10, 12. But there were times where he used to work at these thinky family shops or whatever, some shops, McDonald's. If you look at Warren Buffett, he's worth billions. But all those billions came after he was 60. A lot of them, majority of them. So you as a young person, you're saying that, Evan, I'm 30 years old, or I need to reach something before 31 or 32.
And you're being too hard on yourself. You're on the edge of committing suicide and just giving up, going into drugs.
Exactly. Why you do that? There are many examples of people who made their wealth after 50. A lot of them. But now you're complaining. So stop the excuses. Have your purpose, start something, and then have some end goal.
So, Dumsani, if I'm getting you clearly, right, you are saying it's okay for society to give us due dates because it pushes us to work harder. But at the same time, one should not be limited by these due dates to say, okay, I was meant to achieve something when I was by age 30, now I'm 31, then it means I can just relax because say train says like, okay, I'm done. So we are not to dismiss societal standards to say due dates or whatever, 30 or whatever age that society puts. It's meant to push us, but at the same time we are not meant to be too hard on ourselves. That's what you
just don't take it too personal. Just don't let it get too much or too infiltrated in your skin because it will cause you to be depressed. Use it as a gauging mechanism. an instrument to see your progress. Use it as that, but don't say that if I've reached 40 and I haven't made this much, life is not for me. You know? So yeah, there's a healthy way to push yourself, and these talents are there for a reason. They make progress, but the thin line is that they make or destroy. So we should be careful not to step to the side where it's destructive. We should just step on the side where it's just continuously pushing us. So yeah, have some grace for yourself, guys. Even for me, someone might be asking me how I see you on social media, you're not driving big cars, you said you're living with your parents and all that. This talk, as much as I can be fancy and say it right here, I know it's gonna help somebody to believe in themselves, to be patient with themselves, and at the same time, work on themselves. Because we can't stop. We don't have a choice, literally. We can't stop working because sooner or later you're gonna be old and you're gonna have to have a family and all that stuff. You have to take care of your parents. So you must do something. However, it's not the end of the world if you don't reach those big goals that you once had. Even for me, I'm still young, 27. I still got time, but I don't have to waste it. The thing is, I should not waste it. I still got time. But if I tell myself I still got time and I take it too deep, I'm gonna waste it.
Dumisani, you are coming into deep. I thought last week was deep, but
Last
today
week was a practice session. I mean,
you'll only get worse, ladies and gentlemen. It's the one and only Dumisani. Pangani, Eka, Shovedrive. He is definitely back again next week to depress us. But not only to depress us, he also does give us, a way out to say, if you're feeling like this, then this is, the route I think you should take in order to get back. At the end of the day, it's all about bringing each other up. It's all about uplifting each other as young people. And this is a safe space to say, we understand. You're not alone, to say late or you haven't made it, so you should give up. No, all of us have got deadlines. Believe that all of us have got deadlines. Even our parents do have societal pressures to say by age this, you should have grandchildren. And you'll find that they don't have some of it, And so it differs according to ages. Some, by age 60 you should have 3 houses or you should have a retirement package, and you'll find that you've never really worked hard enough to be able to retire. And now you are 60 something, you're still going to work just because society or the government even has put an age boundary to say by age 60 it's retirement. But how do you retire when you have not worked hard enough to be able to survive during retirement? So you see, it's not only about us young people. It goes up until the grandparents. I don't know what their challenges are, but I'm sure they also do have challenges of their own. Dumsani, thank you so much for bringing this conversation to the table. We hope to have you again next week.
It's a pleasure, and thank you for having me.
All right. Coach is coming through. It's titled Fall Into Place. One thing, guys, things will fall into place.
Definitely.
All right. See you on the flip side, yeah?